So Danielle, here we are, the first full day of AAMI eXchange 2025 New Orleans version. Just had an amazing main stage presentation, bunch of presentations actually, awards, AAMI Fellows named. Aaron came in and talked about the work he's doing. What's been your favorite part so far this morning?
You know, I really loved Aaron's speech. I mean, I think the power of empathy is something we can all carry with us every day in our careers as HTM professionals. You know, if you don't lead with empathy, I don't know why we do what we do, right? We're there for the patient, the path to the patients, the people in there. You know, I think I said it earlier, people walk into hospitals during the most vulnerable times of their lives. And if it wasn't for all the HTM professionals, all the care providers, people wouldn't have the miraculous outcomes. You know, we often forget that hospitals are places where people also go to heal. And, you know, we help contribute to that. And I think Aaron's message was so strong and just so touching.
Yeah, it really was. And I think people felt it in the interactive exercise he had where folks sort of named their passion.
With the sticky notes, yes.
Yeah,
and they're all outside the expo hall if you haven't seen them. And we're going to move it down here to the AAMI booth as well so people can kind of see what their passion is and why, and their why they do it. And
for folks that are watching and don't know, Aaron was our keynote speaker today and talked about an incredible, he called, they were empathy, what was the right term?
Empath Labs, he's the
Empath
CEO.
Labs, but what was he called the duck something, an empathic or?
Yeah, so they're comfort stuffed animals.
Comfort animals, yeah. Okay, it was amazing, absolutely amazing. Developed them for diabetes, developed them for children going through cancer treatment.
Yep.
The squishy, whatever you call it,
yeah,
thing
for
that
clinical
could be
trials.
reconfigured.
Yeah,
right
so a lot of children with
trials.
different types of ailments and diseases have to go through these clinical trials, and it's very, very scary. And you're able to program. So one of the studies he was doing was an asthma study. So you can actually program that little squishmallow type thing to take an inhaler virtually through your phone. So children feel represented and they feel like their stuffed animal is going through that same journey with them. So it's very endearing.
So, and we're doing it some justice, but not full justice.
No,
so
not at all.
Go to Empath Labs, and he was also kind enough. He popped in for an interview with us, which was not planned, not here on the live stream right now, but we're going to post that to all of our social channels, and hopefully people will check that out. So, so having said that, you'd think we were professionals and we knew how to do this, and we could just cut it in or do so. I mean, we have professionals supporting us all the time. I have to say thanks to all the folks at CCR who do a tremendous job
deal with me and Robert every year,
making us look fairly decent. You look great, making me look fairly decent. But so we've been doing this for 5 years now.
Well, since 2021, when we did 100% virtual show. Can you believe it?
And the first one was AAMI eXchange Rewired, which we did in Arlington, Virginia.
And if people didn't see that, Robert and I were on air for 40 hours a week, all week long, doing a live news broadcast, and it's been quite the journey, my friend.
And you thought I was crazy. Everyone.
I did. I just, you know,
I think
you were
great. First of all, it was the beginning of your stardom, I think, personally. But we had higher viewership every day of the week, all the way through Friday.
It went on, it was unbelievable. And I remember when you first brought up this idea, and I was like, what? Like, I literally thought we would walk out of there on Friday and we would just hate each other. Like, I literally thought that I'm like, this guy is never going, like, I just thought I was going to flop it so bad. And I just figured, oh, he's going to be so annoyed with me. And
I saw star power in you. I know you could do this. So we're going to start doing this maybe quarterly now?
Yeah, we're going to have a quarterly show, me and Robert. So if you think we're fun, come tune in and watch us.
If you think we're fun.
Yeah,
now
if you like us.
We're in big trouble. So I think we've got some outtakes.
Yeah, we'll just.
Have you seen these?
I haven't seen them all. I saw some of them because I provided some of the pictures.
You didn't set me up, did you?
It really shows our progression from 2021. Robert and I, 4 years together doing this.
All right, let's take a look at these outtakes from the last 4 years. Is Darren nearby or MJ? Whoever's responsible for this, stay nearby. I want to be able to yell at you. Oh, there you are. Oh, jeez. Look at us. That was Rewired. That was in the studios in Arlington. There we are. I couldn't afford a jacket in those days. I don't know what that. Oh, look at the studio.
Look at us. That was our practice.
And look at. Wait, pause. Will you pause on that for a second? So I want to say there. Maybe can you back up a couple of frames? I don't know if that's possible.
See again, CCR dealing with us. This is off script.
Yeah, see, I make it hard. Okay, now I want to point out
These are our first
a lot of those
sponsors.
folks are still with us.
Yes.
And so, for instance, GE is the sponsor of this activity.
Booth.
You
They
can see the
apparently
logo.
liked us so much in 2021 that they have sponsored this every year.
It's unbelievable. So, I mean, we couldn't be doing this without the support of all of our sponsors.
And TRIMEDX is a huge sponsor. Steris has a huge booth here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have more exhibitors and sponsors this year than we've had at AAMI Exchange.
Yeah, 172
Is
record.
it 72 now?
172.
Oh, wow. We went up 2 more than I knew. All right,
Yeah.
can we play from
All
there
right,
then?
keep going.
See what else
Go
we
down
got.
memory lane here. There's
Yeah,
CCR
there's the
right there.
folks
There we
making
go,
it happen.
behind the scenes.
There you go. Steve Campbell,
People
our
are
acting
all-
CEO at that time.
Yes.
There you go.
Robert in
I
the
knew
hat.
The hat was going to be in there. So folks know we're going to Texas the next year.
Yes,
right?
there's us with Jennifer Chester. She was
Isn't she
in with us
fantastic?
yesterday.
Oh, there we go. Wow.
Oh, and that's my daughter. She
There
was
she
1 at the
is.
time watching us.
Watching you on the
Yeah,
thing.
she's now
That's
6 years old. What a
fantastic.
great way to end it. What a journey,
Wow.
Robert.
I can't believe it. That
It's
is
been a
kind of-
phenomenal.
Two things about that I think are important. I have the same amount of hair I had then. I want to
So
just
do
point
I.
that out. Hey, and so do you. There you go. That'll be the 2 things I want to point out. All right, so we've got a full schedule today, and let's see if our next guests are here yet. I believe they are.
There we go. Our
Gentlemen,
sponsor.
come on in. Please, I hope you brought baby pictures. We're going to roll back time. And how are you? Good to see you again. Squeeze right in here.
Yes.
All right, get those headphones on. Some of you are veterans at this.
Yes.
You know what to do. You've got control of your volume right there, so if I'm blasting you out, you can turn it down with volume knob 1. Danielle cannot be turned down. She's requested a bypass switch. So you guys just saw we were watching the old footage, and you were there from the beginning.
From the
GE
beginning.
was. So sincerely, thank you for everything you do to not just support what we do, but support HTM and this activity, all of AAMI.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've been coming since the 1900s, so.
All right, get that 1900. So get up on. They didn't have mics then. Get that mic
Yeah.
up
Yeah,
like
get
you're
that mic
chewing,
up
on it,
like
and then
that.
we'll be able to
Alright.
hear you.
Yeah, it should
So-
almost be in your mouth for it to pick
Okay.
you up. Yeah, I know it's
Yeah.
odd, but
So we're always happy you guys are here because you kind of share what's going on in the field as well as some of the things you're doing to address that. So let's start with the broader question. What's going on in the field? What are some, since we met last year in a glass booth in Phoenix? We're in Phoenix,
Well,
right?
before we start, we need to thank them for being our sponsor.
Well, I kind of
You know, but I think we need to show,
Yeah, I mean,
you know.
your name's all over the booth.
Yeah.
Yes, but but
Actually, I asked him this year. I said, "Can we have an AAMI logo somewhere on there? That'd be okay." I know GE.
people think we work for
sponsored
GE
it,
Healthcare
but-
now.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be fine. They're a great
Yeah,
outfit.
we
Who
love
doesn't
it.
want to?
I
So-
actually I worked for GE back as an intern in college.
Oh, wow.
But back when the consumer and industrial business was still there, I worked there as a leadership development intern.
Oh,
So I
very
guess
cool.
for 4 months, I guess I worked for GE Healthcare.
Okay.
But
High
yeah.
five.
Yeah.
There you
Very
go.
good.
You need purple shoes.
You have the meatball already.
Yeah.
then
I do.
tattooed.
The meatball, exactly. All right, so since we met 5 years ago in that chilly Phoenix weather, and now we're here in New Orleans, or since we met a year ago, what's been going on? What's new in the field? What are the kind of challenges you're seeing?
Yeah, I think what's interesting is you see some of the same trends that are kind of playing out even when we spoke about last year, but I think what's really top of mind for a lot of HTM programs is around the cost and efficiency, and so that continues to be a theme that we see a lot of the HTM programs tell us, and areas that we're also looking at solutions and how to support them and enable them. I think one very interesting trend that you see even the topics this morning around AI, machine
Right.
learning, how is that being embedded into everyday type of work that we do from an HTM perspective is emerging a lot more, I'd say, faster than we've seen in the past. So a lot of talk around that.
Can attest to that. We have folks we're involved with who pointed out that under Moore's law, which we all know, we had
Yeah.
doubling every 2 years or halving of the cost every 2 years. And
Talking about that.
That's
the ratio
Yeah.
we were talking about actually in our board meeting this week for this area was every 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moore's law is broken now.
Yeah.
Or exceeded.
Yes.
We've gotten past it. Thank you, Moore. It was very useful for a long time. It's not useful anymore, but every 6 months. So it's almost exponential, even on a very short time frame. So
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the innovation not just around the technology and the application, but just the business models around how people are operating too.
yeah.
And then, of course, Amy does always a good job of talking about what are we doing to try to enable people with the right skills.
Yeah.
So staffing is still an area that's top of mind for us, for HTM programs. So I think those are
And we talked a little bit about that last time, new models you guys had that were getting talent into the hospitals or specific skill sets where you're expanding your ecosystem to kind of accommodate that. So, well, what are some of the specific things you're working on now that if you had to pick one of those, whether it's AI or any of those kind of areas, what are some of the specific products or services? You guys always say something cool and new here, which we
I know.
appreciate.
Are you gonna release anything big right
come on,
here?
big
on
announcement. Come on. We don't want to put you on the spot or anything.
Maybe before we talk about the new, we were brainstorming a bit about some of the old things and what we have introduced at AAMI. And to your point, this has been really the platform, the show to really introduce so many different solutions. And I had to write them down because there's so many. Because I started coming in the 1900s, and during that time, GE had a presence, and the presence was largely equipment focused. And we had portable devices and other things sitting here, ventilators, monitors, things like that. And then just over a decade ago, we've been supporting in-house the whole time, but a decade ago, 12 years ago, we made a full commitment that we're all in with in-house and HTM, and that's when we really turned this show into our service show. So we launched at this show our training simulators, new diagnostic tools, advanced diagnostic tools. We launched here our digital marketplace and e-commerce platforms, our AR, VR technology to enable training and support on devices, just a whole slew of things, right?
So miraculous.
It's a lot of acceleration, a lot of investment in this space, but once you invest, you have to continue to invest and expand those tools because we want to make sure we're there with the new challenges for our customers. Last year, over the last 2 years, we introduced two big products, rebranded our in-house solutions under Unite, and Chris will talk about that. Yep, and then also we introduced our Unite channel partners, and that's where we're supporting those vendors that go through our supplier qualification process, traditional competitors of GE, with our tools, with our training, our advanced diagnostics, and that program has taken off.
That's where we're talking about
So that's your multi-vendor service.
talent into the hospital on task, by expanding the ecosystem.
It's interesting, sitting down with those traditional competitors and helping solve customer problems and helping enable their business and support of service has been outstanding. So it's gone beyond break fix now. Like we're helping with data and intelligence insights, some of that Hani had mentioned, but also helping them with life cycle management and options and upgrades and capital planning.
Strategic capital planning,
exactly right. So it's been phenomenal to see. And this show, we have a whole slew of potential partners that we're meeting with. So it's a great opportunity to expand it.
Good.
You want to share a little bit about the in-house?
Yeah, so I mean, it is really amazing to think about how much this industry has evolved and how challenged we feel to continue to lead the way, if you will. And this really is our in-house, constituents, our customers. This is our show, and I appreciate, that we've gotten to participate in the journey. So as Aaron mentioned, branding. This idea of Unite, which I think it really embodies the spirit of what we're trying to do. This isn't a, again, it's not a casual or a we ought to, or maybe sometimes we could if we're pressed to partner with in-house. It's a
and the
core
client doesn't
part of our
the
model.
client wants their problem solved.
It's all in. We've got a
competitive interest.
It comes back to the patient, right?
That's right.
And it's really the right thing to do, in my opinion. I think we're better together. And at the end of the day, as someone who's worked in in-house, self-op, and outsourced departments, when it's broken, we just want it fixed. We want to make sure we're not canceling cases, patient access.
That's right.
And it's so nice to see, a lot of the competitors working together, because I think that's really what has to happen, because everything is so integrated and intermixed now in hospitals. It is. It's totally multi-vendor. Like your modalities can be hooked to a competitor's, third-party system, and
Yeah, so I mean, we're thinking that way. I mean, even the words on our wall are your vision, our expertise united, and
where are you guys?
Yeah, we're
They're
somewhere
right
somewhere in the front.
Right up front when you come in the door,
right?
For the
cappuccino
bougie ice
machine,
cream,
right? Yeah, ice cream. Sorry, I thought it was coffee.
That too. That
That would be a spaceship up there. It's so big. How did I miss that?
Yeah, so we're
right when you first walk in.
Yeah, I mean, we're right front and center, and we're still thinking about the same challenges, right? I mean, we're thinking about the people. How do we unite with the vision that an HCP has for their workforce and what they want to own, whether it's biomed or imaging or cross vendors? How do we, enable with training, and how do we do more kinds of training and not just the different, knowledge, but the delivery systems? How can we come to you? So we're bringing on-site training to customers in more modalities, which they're excited about. Keep them in the field, close to, responding to the needs of their customers. So that's exciting. We're teaching biomed basics. We're opening up more classes across various vendors. So we're still thinking about people and how do we get that knowledge that we can pass on to the right hands that are turning the wrenches. And we're thinking about parts. Like always, we've got to solve for making sure our parts are getting to those moments when they're needed
Most,
and whether that's the delivery again through our marketplaces, which we've talked about and we've expanded in different unique ways there, and just ensuring the quality as always, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we have a vested interest when a patient goes into our device for an experience, and we want to make sure that a GE part is going into that device to ensure patient care. So we're still thinking about that, and then the smarts. I mean, we live in a world of technology, and as we've talked about Moore's Law, how can we rapidly innovate more predictive things? So we have our liquid, metal bearing tube and predictives, but we have predict in MR, and that's our go forward across modalities. So we're doing that as fast as we can, because we know those frontline engineers need to make decisions about things before it disrupts patients. So that's some of the things. I mean, we could talk on about all the things.
And it's patient throughput, right? Hospitals are struggling. You want to keep them at the throughput that they're at or a little better. And I think these solutions help uptime, and therefore it helps the availability. And then you're making, keeping uptime where it is for those beds and OR cases, so they're starting on time. And
I think that, to your point, that's where we're seeing the conversation go beyond just break fix.
That's
right. It's going beyond that. You're talking about cyber. You're talking about RTLS. Interesting thing that we always talk about is we're seeing clinical engineering becoming part of the CIO's agenda in these health systems. And so the conversation is definitely evolving beyond just break fix, and what are some of those incremental solutions that we can do to enable our customers.
So I'm going to hit you with a question. You can decline because there may be some proprietary nature to this. But as we've talked a lot about AI, and I mean, obviously you're doing predictive analytics and have been before we all started talking about AI, which I hate as a label because it's so broad. But you've been doing predictive analytics. We're talking about Moore's Law, the doubling of power. So, have you started using AI in some of that predictive kind of modality? And are you already seeing what we're seeing in some industries where literally 6 months from now, the capability that you will have will, it's crazy, eclipse what you have today? Because that's what we're seeing in a lot of areas. It's not just incremental change every 6 months. It's exponential
Disruptive.
change. Are you already, you have enough data that you're able to do that, and it's already starting to go up that curve?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually had a session this morning. We have actually one of our experts here, Jean-Michel, and Sabi spoke about predictive maintenance. We already have OnWatch, TubeWatch as an offering that we've talked about in the past, and now the idea is how do you expand to other components within these systems and other modalities, and then going one step further and say, okay, let's make it more perspective, right? So you're moving from corrective to preventive to predictive. Now you want to get a perspective to be able to almost make sure the part's there, right? So that's kind of the future.
Right. You sort of say, oh, we
now
need, and you turn, and there it is.
And data-driven.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So lots of stuff announced over the years, lots of cool stuff going on. What sort of specific things should customers be looking for Come on, announce something. Is there anything? No, I'm teasing you. What do you want to talk about?
Well, we have now launched some predictive services and remote monitoring in PCS, or patient care services at the show, and we're excited about that because you can actually manage protocols remotely across a large number of devices, so that's kind of exciting. We are looking forward in this show to, as I mentioned, the number of potential partners we have that have kind of lined up to meet. Just having those discussions over the next 2 days is going to be exciting to see where those go. And what's interesting, we started out with this idea of how do we support their services, but we're also now looking at like how do we better cover certain segments of the United States, the more rural areas, maybe the smaller customer types, and also where can they add value and maybe do work on our behalf. So this idea that started to build over the last 2 years has not only grown, but started to take different shape. And so we're excited to dig into those conversations and see where
kind of an interesting bifurcated thing. You're expanding your network or your ecosystem of partners and service providers, et cetera. So there's a real human component to this. It does take boots on the ground in those underserved areas. But at the same time, you have this explosion in analytical capability, AI, et cetera, that can democratize.
Yeah.
And really, who does it benefit more? The smaller organization that really has problems keeping parts on hand and might be in a location it's hard to get them to, or, a big, well-funded, well-stocked, It's actually going to democratize quickly a lot of the benefits of all of this, and you will be able to serve those rural customers in a way that probably helps them as much as anyone else, right?
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And
that's pretty cool.
One of the other things to Aaron's point that we've amplified a lot more and having those conversations is around life cycle.
Right.
How do you get more out of your asset? And so that's something we were talking about at our booth in terms of let's talk about that sustainability and longevity of your investment.
Yeah.
Great. Was there anything we have not talked about that you'd like to bring up? Because otherwise I know we have to wrap it up, get you guys back to the booth, and I know you've got some activities I want to mention this afternoon. So, but anything we haven't covered?
I just noticed how natural Chris is on air, so I think he might be gunning for you, Robert. Like, hey,
listen.
I was going to say, Chris was really good. I thought you were very fluid and natural. I was like, wow, you should hire him as part of our team.
We do believe in succession planning. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be behind this microphone. I can't keep up. So, but in all seriousness, I believe you guys have a fireside chat taking place later this afternoon on many of these topics in your booth. The giant GE spaceship right in the front of the AAMI eXchange Expo Hall. Beautiful booth, by the way. Wow.
Beautiful.
And so 4 o'clock, that's going to be some of your senior folks, right? Some of your product leaders or other folks, executives?
Or us. You'll have to settle for us, too.
Okay. I didn't mean age. I meant, experience, et cetera, et cetera. So, listen, thank you so much, and we applaud everything you're doing, and thank you for supporting us. And I hope we'll see you again next year in Denver.
You will?
Yeah, we will.
And I went hotter Denver. So that'll be a nice. That'll be a nice.
It'll be a nice break. Well, thank you guys for being here. It's always a pleasure having you guys on the show.
For your
Absolutely. And hopefully, folks will swing by and see you guys at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
Yes, please
Fireside chat.
Yes.
With various leaders, including some here now. Good. All right. Well, thank you very much. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
Bye bye. Wow. See, I'm always a little worried when I ask questions like the AI thing, right?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that, You're supposed to know the answer. It's like being a lawyer. That's why I think maybe he's going to be in this seat one day. I'm going to get thrown out of here. All right, so who have we got next? Are we going remote?
Yeah, we're going Chace Torres.
Chace
has
Torres
Ralph
is here
and
again?
Janet in the AAMI Foundation booth so we can learn how to fund the future of HTM.
Hi, Ralph. Hi, Janet. Take it away, Chace.
Hey, everybody. Chace Torres here, Bearded Biomed, or as you may know me, a.k.a. Mr. Impact. So I'm here at the AAMI Foundation booth. I'm excited to be here. This is a very important mission, and I'm joined by Janet Bruce and, of course, Ralph. We're going to talk about what this is, why you need to pay attention to it, and what we're doing to fund the future. So, Janet, Ralph, appreciate you joining me here. If you wouldn't mind just letting people know what AAMI Foundation is, what its mission is, and what its impact is doing.
I'll go ahead and start. So the AAMI Foundation is a separate entity from AAMI, and our goal is one thing, is to help fund the future of healthcare technology management through academic scholarships. We also provide honors awards for people who have contributed a lot to the industry and the profession over their career. And more importantly, we also provide research grants, and I'll let Ralph talk about what those are exactly.
Hear about that.
Sure. So we have a couple of research grant programs, the Logan Fund and then also the Kilmer Fund. In both cases, They're meant to help fund the future of healthcare technology development, and it can be product development, and it also can be to improve practice. So, for instance, we awarded this year one related to infusion pumps. It's actually our 4th time that the Logan Fund has funded a study on infusion pumps, and there's a lot of human error related to infusion pumps, so improving the practice of using them, the technology, and so our latest study is very much in that line.
I mean, the studies are important. Funding the future is important. All the scholarship recipients, seeing all the new faces that are going to continue on in their career, be able to network and be a part of the AAMI ecosystem. That's what it's all about. So if anybody wanted to assist in making this move forward and grow year after year, what do they need to do to support the AAMI Foundation?
You can be a donor. All right, we have different levels of financial contribution that you can provide, and it allows you to be part of this initiative to keep things moving, to support new research where there's data gaps and improve practice, to be able to feed the pipeline of people coming into the industry. And our scholarships, this year we gave away more Michael J. Miller, I should say, scholarships than we have in the past. We gave away 19 scholarships. We gave away 3 additional scholarships to sterility assurance professionals. That's the highest number we've ever been. And we're able to do that simply because we have more people supporting the foundation through giving us financial contributions, which you can deduct, whether it's your own individual donation or in some cases through your company. Some companies have matching programs for donating to nonprofits, and we fit into that category. So help us. Get involved. Learn what the foundation is all about. There's also opportunities to serve on the selection committees that actually, once all the applications come in, to determine who is qualified to receive the types of awards or scholarships. And so there's different ways to be involved besides just the financial, but we're dependent on financial contributions in order to be able to help give away these scholarships and research grants.
I would add to just add one thing to that, and I had a chance to walk the floor and talk to a number of employers here at the AAMI eXchange, and one of the things that I talked to them about is really spread the word, and if you're involved in a school or an association, a chapter, we're happy to talk to those folks and let them know about, for instance, the Miller Scholarship Program. And again, to build the pipeline, because everybody that's on this floor right now is struggling to find the next generation of HTMs. And part of the role of the foundation is to help do that. So enlist our help.
So we say it across the biomed field in general. We have so many people going forward. We need to bring more people, build awareness. The way we do that is by supporting what you guys are doing and, building confidence and putting effort, energy, money, time into, building the next generation up. The way we do that is by investing in our future. So I'm excited to hear that you just continuously keep raising the ladder, and who knows what next year is going to be like. But this is your call to action, anybody who's watching, listening, to support the AAMI Foundation. This is Chace Torres live from the floor. Danielle, Robert, appreciate you having me, and kick it back over to you.
All right, well, we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, and Ralph, Janet, great work at the foundation. Congrats on all the success, and it's just getting bigger every year now.
Yes, definitely stop by the AAMI Foundation booth to fund the future of HTM. All those scholarships are so important to creating a strong pipeline. So if you'd like to contribute, there's ways to do so at the AAMI Foundation part of the AAMI booth.
And while they're in the AAMI booth, learning about the AAMI Foundation,
yes,
they should learn about AAMI.
Yes, our certification, our education
training,
standards.
And membership.
And membership.
Become a new member, which segues us perfectly. Been doing this for a while.
Yeah, it's perfect segue.
What do you think of that, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll get right in there.
To Andrew from Bayer, welcome.
Yep. Thank
How are you? So introduce yourself to folks. Let them know who you are.
Yeah, so hi everybody on the stream and in the convention hall. I'm Andrew Wingen. I'm Director of Regulatory Policy for Medical Devices at Bayer. I support the radiology business. Okay. And you might ask yourself, what is regulatory policy? Regulatory policy, at least the way I do it, is looking at the landscape for public policy, how it's shifting, how it's changing, thinking about what ways to engage on behalf of Bayer, on behalf of technological progress on behalf of our patients and working on ways to, help move things forward. I just was listening to the last session about AI. Bayer's in that space, specifically the radiology business is in that space.
It's been advanced there before anything else, really.
Yeah, and super dynamic.
Right.
And to segue back to the original point, we became members of AAMI because there's definitely some benefit to being engaged on the standards making front as well as some of the other opportunities that AAMI has for engagement.
Well, and that's music to our ears, right? We want more people involved in standards, and that's why people join. And we're so excited to have you part of that process, to have your voice represented amongst our standards. But why don't you talk a little bit about standards and why you wanted to be involved, why you saw that need to join, and why you really wanted to be involved in the standards process?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. So Bayer Radiology, we have contrast media, which is pharma, which, AAMI doesn't really touch. That's not medical instrumentation. That's
we do,
more,
though. It's interesting, and the convergence of where you're going with this, probably.
Yeah. And it's needed for the procedures.
It's not a perfect line,
Yeah,
right?
it's not a perfect line.
Yeah.
And then we also sell contrast media injectors.
Okay.
And then the corresponding software to those. So workflow solutions, things to help bring patient care, to really help to help improve it, to help expedite patient care. And along with that, we also have a couple of platforms related to artificial intelligence, so deployment of clinical applications in the radiology suites, and also for developers to develop any kind of application that
that's interesting. So you actually have a platform that other folks are using to develop solutions.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's the scope of things that we're focused on. And I think, for maybe a larger medical device company or one that has a broader portfolio of things, they're like, oh yeah, AAMI standards, you can go to all these different standards making groups, whether it's biocompatibility, sterilization, some of the healthcare technology management, which is really, you put the onus and focus of that here at this show.
Right.
There's so much to be a part of. And to your question, why be involved? So standards are really key for a variety of reasons. You want those standards to ensure that the technology is good quality. For the medical device fields, those standards can get recognition by regulatory bodies, FDA, EU competent authorities, just looking globally, that's important. And then finally, it's good to be part of those conversations with industry peers to understand, okay, what are your thoughts on this new thing that's happening? Or, hey, we need a new standard because there's this patient safety signal out there that, there's something that's maybe not quite as compatible as we thought it was, or maybe the technology's changed a little bit, or practice of medicine has changed a little bit, so we have to look at things again. So it's one part of that conversation that also it's the ecology of considerations from different stakeholders, and it's a great venue for that.
One of the ways I'm sorry, go ahead, Danielle.
I was going to say, from the HTM perspective, contrast injectors are very high-end modalities. Our technicians are very specially trained to handle those, and they're very critical in the hospital because, as most people here probably know, if the injector does not work, you cannot do the case because they need the contrast.
Yeah.
So, what you do, even though you said it's not a big breath, maybe a GE Healthcare or something, it is so critical to patient care.
Criticality, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And I was just going to comment on your comment about sort of standards, but also being a part of the conversation. Really, standards are the part of the glacier that's above the water. That's when you've gotten to consensus. That's when you've arrived at best practice, if you will, across a very broad group of stakeholders. But it's all the work that's going on under the water to create that.
To get there.
Because that's not always there initially. And so when you've got organizations like yours involved, it's a chance not just to, a lot of people say, well, we need to keep up with standards. It's not about keeping up with standards. It's about being a part of the creation of those standards, which you have to be there in the early parts of the conversation, not just interact, once the document's far along or even complete.
And if that deeming authority that you talked about adopts a standard and it totally doesn't match what you do, then you're in trouble, right? So that's why it's so important to be involved and have a voice, because, if it's myopic in the sense that you only have a couple people working on it and they're just writing it to their practices and it doesn't really represent the broader community and how they do something, then that can become problematic downstream.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because just to expound on that point, like if you're not conforming with the standard and you have to, provide lots of justification why you're not doing that.
Right.
I mean, you can do that,
Yes.
but it's a much...
But it's a lot
tougher
more,
mountain to scale for sure.
It's a longer path to market, which means it's a longer path to the patient.
Yeah,
and we want to get these devices and technologies to the patient. So.
And just one more to expand upon, that's absolutely true. But unless that standard gets adopted into law, and sometimes they do. So if it does, then there is no way around the way it's written. So
sometimes
that's why it's so critical.
Yep. Incorporation by reference. We won't go down that rabbit hole.
We won't
right
go
now.
right now, but it can
we
happen.
Express no opinion on that for those that are listening.
But the people at the stream are like, nope.
Well, we don't lobby.
We don't lobby.
Advocate. Our mission, as you know, is
safe and effective use of health technology.
Exactly. Quicker than me on the draw there.
That was almost a jinx.
No,
that happens a lot sometimes.
We're good at that. Yeah, exactly. So I have a more fundamental and maybe more light question. How did you know about AAMI? How did you come to know us?
Yeah. So being in regulatory. So before I was in regulatory policy, I was in regulatory strategy, which involved getting either updates to portfolio products to the market or new products to the market. And I've been at Bayer for 3.5 years. Before that, I was at 3M Healthcare, now Southend. And I started my career actually in crop biotechnology regulation, so genetically modified crops, which is kind of like its own Wild West sort of regulatory landscape, or at least it was at the time. But reference to standards, I mean, that's something that's core to a regulatory submission dossier. So it's like, oh yeah, AAMI's doing this. And then also my time at 3M Healthcare, like there's a lot of involvement on the sterilization side because that was one of the portfolios that 3M had at the time. So yeah,
so you've known about us a while.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
Well, this is a two-way conversation, so I'm going to throw something at you now that I hope will be helpful. I want you to look at AAMI Nexus. John's probably already talked to you about our VP of membership when you joined, but that's going to be a great place for you guys to get involved as well, because that's really where we do bring manufacturing entities, regulators from around the world, not just FDA, but globally together to talk about exactly what you're talking about. What are those issues that we need to convene around now, which eventually will lead to standards, usually, not always. There's some things that's not the right tool, but it usually comes into play. So anyway, Nexus is going to be, I hope we see you there in Virginia in the spring. But anything else you want to share with folks about AAMI or about Bayer? You talked a little bit about your service lines, the things you do.
We do have a booth here. It's booth 3126.
3126, all
All right, definitely go visit them.
Visit them.
Very good.
Thank you for supporting our show.
Yeah, of course.
We're going to come by for sure.
Yeah, we'll stop by after once we get out of here.
Sounds great.
Very good. Very good. There. Well, we'll see you there, and we certainly thank you and thank everyone at Bayer for supporting this new membership, and we look forward to many years of productive collaboration.
Yes, thank you, Andrew.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. We'll see you. Say the booth number again.
3126.
3126. All right. We'll see you there.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I think now we're going back out to the floor, right?
Yes. It's Chace again.
Chace again. We're working this guy.
There we go.
Chace, where are you?
Did you break a sweat getting over there?
Hey, so back here on the floor in high fashion, we're in New Orleans. We're on fire, literally. So I had to be here at the booth here with the Girls on Fire. If you have not heard of this podcast, check them out. But I had to know, because I'm a fan. I watch it. I love what you guys do. What inspired you to do the exclusive Girls on Fire podcast with Tech Nation?
That's a great question. So we have our young professionals group, our YP at MD. Chace is very familiar. And we thought we wanted to have something fun and laid back and just have a place that the community can either learn more, relate to, at the very least, get a laugh. Megan and I are very casual, so as you know, we like to have a lot of fun. So we just wanted to be an outlet for you to feel like I can relate to some of these things these girls are saying, even though we're not turning wrenches ourselves. We just wanted to have a fun little podcast, and we're glad people are enjoying it.
It's a casual,
It's
sit back,
casual.
come chill out with
Come
you
chill
guys.
out. It's like you're hanging out in the room with us.
Exactly. So what do you see the impacts going with this podcast, or what impact have you seen already? I know people have probably reached out to you and told you they love it, because, I mean, who wouldn't?
We actually have a funny story. We were at one of our shows and someone was like, these are the girls on fire. We're like, you watch us? This is crazy. Like Kristen said, we're just fun loving. It's really casual. We're really good friends and we just have great chemistry. But I feel like the impact it's making is, like she said, we have our YP at MD group. And not only do we have the podcast, but you'll also have our social media pages and our networking event. So if you ever come to one of our MD Expos, you have to join us. But it's just a great way to connect with people that are your age in the industry.
All right, so where can they actually tune in to watch the show?
So if you go to our YouTube channel, Technation TV, you can go ahead and like and subscribe and follow along. And our podcast is once a month right now. People are asking for more than once a month, but we'll try. But right now, once a month, so you can find us.
Y'all are busy. It's understandable.
Hey, I'm not opposed. It doesn't feel like work. Just get to hang out, so not opposed.
The show is literally catching heat.
Yeah, God, Chace, we got to bring you on for branding.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to take a long trek over to the next, really long walk here with Emily. Now, another thing you guys might not know about is Technation has a scavenger hunt. And Emily is assisting people with them, so we want to learn a little bit about it.
Absolutely. So come over to MedWrench. We're having all the fun over here. We do our annual scavenger hunt. So essentially, attendees can come to our booth and pick up their game card. All they have to do is go around to all of these booths and get a sticker. And then the fun part comes on tomorrow at 2 p.m. They'll come and we'll do a drawing for all these awesome prizes. We have iPads, backpacks, everything fun you can think of.
I see some things I might need a card here soon.
I'm like, can I join?
Yeah, you guys do this every year. Everybody loves it. It's fun. I mean, why not? Free prizes.
Yep, it's a great way to get people to go around the exhibit hall and network and all that.
Well, live from Tech Nation booth. Come check out Scavenger Hunt. Check out Girls on Podcast. Danielle, Robert, back to you.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was
it's back
chatting
to
with our new
us.
guest. You
Yes,
hit me.
I know. Sorry.
And now it's on camera. I have that forever. So,
It wasn't
all right.
that hard.
We have witnesses.
Yeah, exactly. So we have two of our favorite people in the booth now. You want to introduce them? Or you want to make them introduce
Absolutely.
themselves?
Two of my favorite. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, you guys can introduce yourselves, but
Okay,
you know
go
what?
ahead.
We have Monty, who's one of my favorite people in the HTM community. Do you want to say who you are and what you do?
Monty Gonzalez. I'm the president of College of Biomedical Equipment Technology.
And then we have Janish.
It's very official sounding, Monty.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to go after him. Yes. Janesh, I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Uptime Health.
Fantastic.
And we're so excited to have you both in the booth today because the broader community may not know. We're about to announce this here that we've been working on a big collaboration for one of our HTM verticals. So I'll let you announce it, Janish. Why don't you?
So, well, let's start here.
Yeah.
Let me do this a little bit. So,
Okay.
start by telling us what Uptime Health does, and we'll see if the audience at home can begin to figure out as this unrolls. Right, right.
good.
So talk a little bit about Uptime Health.
So what we do is we give a software solution for outpatient healthcare. And when we think about outpatient healthcare, we think everything, right?
Okay.
Anyone who uses equipment to take care of any kind of patient. Sometimes we always go to urgent cares and ASCs and stuff like that. But we're also talking about dentistry, veterinary, and all of the other maybe what we consider non-traditional healthcare providers out there.
Okay.
So we give them software to help them manage their own equipment, dispatch technicians. We have a marketplace of technicians where they can source different service from. And we mine all that data to help them do better CapEx planning and everything like that. So it's really a software company that has a services arm as well.
Okay, fantastic. And you mentioned a couple of different areas in which you do the work that you do. If I had to guess, you probably bring some of those people together from time to time in a particular community. Say a little bit about that.
That's right.
How have you sort of expanded the way you serve the community?
That's right. So at time to time, what we do at least once a year is bring people to a summit. Technicians that work on dental equipment to come learn about some of the new trends, some of the new equipment, to get like their hands-on experience about what's going on in the dental world. And then also help them get better training and access to different resources. A lot of times they feel unrepresentative in the HTM world because for some reason or another, we all see dental or even eye care as like a different industry, but we all know it's medical. So that's why we have our summit to kind of do that.
Right, right. So you've got a very strong presence in the dental space. You have this activity where you bring folks together, and I believe that's called Dental Fix.
Yes, that you invited Robert and I to join last year. Robert and I went down. We were in Nashville and came and joined you for your Dental Fix Summit. Thank you for having us.
Of course. I think so. And if you mentioned that part of the community feeling separate from or not supported in the same way, so maybe now we should, for those keeping score at home on the bingo card, we should let folks know that we're going to change that.
Yep.
Yes.
So we've been in frequent conversations, which have now concluded about. Go ahead.
Yeah. So starting in 2026, our summit will now be part of AAMI and the yearly summit that you guys do. So there'll be a dental track or dental pavilion that we'll start helping you guys out with and put people who might feel outside the HTM industry into the HTM world that you guys have curated, and I think that's going to be a special place.
Right in the center of it all, right?
Then also introduce it to the medical people who sometimes forget about it too. So I think it's going to be a natural, wonderful synergy that I'm looking forward to helping.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is. It's an amazing synergy, right? Because we say dental care is part of healthcare and the dental equipment is part of HTM, you know? And I think much like HTM where we're having pipeline issues, I think it's even worse for the dental service industry because folks aren't really thinking about that. It's a bit of the wild, wild west in the sense of awareness.
Yeah.
And I think for those of us that have dental clinics within their hospitals, you think about it, but it's not at the forefront of everyone's mind. And you forget that there's, over 200,000 standalone dental offices across the country with lots and lots of devices, including sterilizers, like, things that sterilize the tools that go in our mouth. And we want to make sure that everything is working properly, even from an infection control standpoint. So, I am so excited about this personally, to really put the Dental Fix Pavilion in the center of the AAMI Exchange next year, to have all these dental vendors and all of the service technicians that support that equipment here. What better way to make them feel included than put them right at the epicenter of our expo floor?
That's absolutely right. So we're already planning. I've asked for a giant tooth. You walk through the roots of the tooth, and no, we're not going to do that. But it is beautiful. We're going to have the Dental Fix Pavilion, and this is a long-term partnership.
Yes, sponsored by Uptime Health.
Sponsored by Uptime Health. We've got a 5-year plan for how we want to grow this and invest in this over time, and it really will be at the center of the expo experience. We're going to do education in the amphitheater, so there'll be a track, and what we expect is over years that will grow even more.
Absolutely. We'll scale.
Have a full dental track both in the expo and outside the expo. And then there's some other areas we might, so there's where we bring Monty in.
Yes, I was going to say with the transition, people are probably
like,
wondering why Monty's sitting in the booth right now.
Monty was about to leave.
Monty's also wondering.
My bags are packed.
So Monty.
So what have you guys been talking about?
In the dental world, you guys are obviously doing some great work at your school to help support that community. And why don't you kind of explain how you tie into all of this?
Sure. So my HTM journey has been a bit of discovery learning, right? Like everybody else, and completely agree with Janesh. One of the things that became very obvious to us over a few years of doing this work was that why is there no relationship really in terms of medical device standards and training standards in the dental industry and in traditional HTM. And I had an opportunity to meet Janesh and his amazing team and just really love who they are and what they do, and saw a natural relationship. And Janesh came to us and was like, are you guys interested in working with us to develop a dental training platform, a dental training opportunity? And we've really invested the last 2 years working with some fantastic OEMs, ADEC as an example, one of the larger ones.
Mars
Biomedical. And just to use those two examples, ADEC has provided medical devices for the training, donated them to us to support that launch. Mars Biomedical has donated a significant amount of money to fund scholarships for students to get it to incubate the program. And we just got it approved and accredited a multi-phase dental training program to support technicians training nationally. So we're over the moon excited about it, and I'm particularly excited about the relationship between what Janesh is doing with Uptime Health and Dental Fix and AAMI, because I think that's a natural next phase in evolution.
It's fantastic.
What we're doing, and to see those two things coming together is perfect.
And this is such a trifecta, the three of us together. I think really just going into this dental quest together. And for those of you who've never seen Monty's school down in San Antonio, I had the pleasure of being down there a few weeks ago, and Monty showed me around the school, and the dental training the portion of it that you're building is really impressive with all the equipment there, and I'm just so excited to see this all come to life because and it's just so nice that they are openly donating equipment, because I feel like, and I think this is a lesson, right, to other folks out there where we often have trouble getting equipment to do training, and the dental OEMs are just like, here, take it, and you have multiple setups because of their generosity and philanthropy that's really going to help set the mark for the next generation of training for this area.
It has been great. There's such a big demand, just like in HTM. There's just an absolute significant shortage of technicians, and we aim to solve that, or at least do as much as we can to solve that problem. But it can't be done independently. The community of like-minded thinkers have really elevated this, and I'm excited to see what the next phase is, but I know that it's going to be working with the folks in this room to start and then expand that tribe and make it a stronger and stronger program.
Absolutely. And for folks that don't know, you mentioned being down at his school. Say a little bit about CBET in general, because I asked you to introduce yourself, but I don't think some people will know how successful you have been in sort of expanding the pipeline of folks coming into traditional HTM, for lack of a better term.
And when we say CBET, we are not talking about our certification. That stands for College of Biomedical Equipment Technology.
So funny enough, every time somebody,
the lawyers now.
Every time somebody calls Danielle or Sherry to say, what is this CBET thing?
Right.
And then Danielle and Sherry call me and say, Monty, somebody's called and asked, and I'm like, well, you should thank me.
Right.
So
it all works out.
The truth of the matter is we could not ask for a closer relationship than the one we have with
close.
AAMI. Yeah, and we consider you family and love what you do and support the mission.
But tell folks what you do. So
the College of Biomedical Equipment Technology, in some
Thank you for specifying.
areas known as CBET, works very closely with AAMI. We design educational programs, certificate and degree programs for students nationally. We train about 400 students a year through those programs and graduate them. We also have an expanding portfolio of product-specific training programs. Work with fantastic companies like PartSource, one of the biggest sponsors at this event this year, on innovative programs, program development. And probably the one I'm most excited about recent launch is a partnership with RSTI and the College of Biomedical Equipment Technology. It's a Biomed to Imaging program launch. And it's really about innovating, having a tech-forward company to leverage all of the resources and tools that we can to develop training, to deliver programs that are a valuable program to the student with a high ROI. We pride ourselves on not being handcuffed to Title IV and compliance and regulatory environment that a lot of schools are, which allows us to be innovative and adaptive and grow faster. And it's really, again, it's that tech forward, working with companies like Janesh's. One of our mottos is no light between us and the industry we serve. And we feel like the closer we are to the companies that we work with, the companies that hire our students, the better we understand their need, the better we can do in terms of evolving the curriculum and the training to meet that specific demand. Our goal is that when a student finishes with us, they have a job within 30 days. And we're generally about 80 to 90% placement on our graduates. We graduate about 40 students every 6 weeks. And those students have every expectation.
I was just going to say, you graduate more students than all the 2-year HTM academic programs combined across the country. And I think you just do it so well, and it really speaks to the quality of the education that your school provides. I mean, these folks are coming out, they're getting placed, and people are retaining them, and they're staying, and you're really just leaving a legacy and a mark now, because as you do more and more, you're finding more of them scattered throughout the field, and you and your team should just be so proud of what you've accomplished, because I think when you guys first started, even before you were there was a lot of skepticism about online training for technicians, and it's really, in light of the post-pandemic world, it has really come to life, and you guys have this standing model, but it's not only just the fact that you do it online, it's the quality of your program, and the uptake of your students is a testament to that.
Well, I appreciate that. The quality is absolutely critically important to us, and I think that's probably the foundation of our relationship, right? You guys are a quality organization. But the innovating and leading forward with technology, leveraging that to its fullest capacity, virtual reality content and labs integrated in our programs allows us to do things and
very cool
and address training and skills development that we couldn't otherwise develop in an online program.
Right.
But
so let's bring it back to
I was
dental.
going to switch. Yeah, I wanted to
do
switch
that?
gears
Okay,
really quick
go ahead.
because you are our keynote speaker tomorrow.
Yeah.
So people need to come out and see you. So why don't you give a little teaser about what you're going to be talking about?
Yeah, honestly, it's a little bit about what we've been talking about today, which is just allowing people to think beyond the traditional sense of what HTM is or the communities that they serve, and letting them think about other opportunities like expanding into dentistry or other verticals. And then where can they actually go get that knowledge, and how do you actually think about expanding into a vertical you've never gone into before? And that, to me, is a culmination of also working with Monty and his school, saying, like, now this is where you get that hands-on experience. Because before Monty, that was virtually impossible. You had to get hired by distributors or be ride-along passengers for field service techs. So the demand and the ability to create more was just really, really hard. And then you have AAMI, who's, again, supporting this initiative moving forward, which I'm loving. And to me, it's letting people know that the market itself is seeing that this is where we need to go organically. Right. It's groups like AAMI, very reputable organizations, groups like Monty, very reputable organizations that are also saying we should be looking at this differently. Yeah. And I want people in the audience to see that that is how we're all seeing it. So let's start skating to where the puck is going. And I think that's where we're trying to make sure that they at least have that sense of purpose for how they can grow their own businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we should go to the keynote tomorrow. What do you think?
I think we should.
I think we'll be there.
I need at least 2 people in the audience. So
just a little
It'll be
spoiler.
2,000. You'll be set.
Robert and I are introducing you.
Oh.
So we'll be there on stage.
Today's keynote I heard was really good, but Janesh's is going to be even
Incredible.
better.
Oh my gosh.
I have to make people cry here.
I literally told Monty, I was like, I can't follow that guy.
Yeah.
I was like, Aaron Horowitz, I don't know where he is, but I was like, that was one of the best keynotes.
Isn't
at
that
least I think
insane? He's
I've heard
doing
in a while.
such impactful work.
Yeah.
And helping children and just.
He needed to go after me though. That's what I'm really. I'm really coming to this table
You're
saying
going to be fine.
you should
Here's
have
the good
replaced me
news.
first.
Yes.
Here's the good news.
and then
We have a little sorbet between him and you. We have the AAMI party tonight.
Yes. Yeah.
know what?
So people will get a little mind wipe here
Good,
in
good,
New
good.
Orleans and start fresh tomorrow.
He did too good. They need to forget about that a little bit. Keep the empathy side of what he's teaching us.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, I am so excited to be entering into a partnership with you, impressed by everything you've done. It's no small feat to build up one of these shows, and we're so grateful for your trust in us that you're bringing that to AAMI eXchange, and we're going to make it a part of it.
Yeah.
And
We're gonna make
it's
you
just
proud.
super exciting. And Monty,
I couldn't
like
find a better
everything
home for
else,
it.
you sort of started us down this path and said, hey, we've got some people you
It's like,
need
hey, you
to
guys
meet.
should come.
and,
You
know.
guys should come to Nashville and show
You
up.
continue to amaze me. You're everywhere all the time, and we're looking forward to continuing to work with, I'll just say CBET.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yes.
I was going to say, I think this
They
earns you the ability.
Yeah,
Or we have witnesses that this was allowed.
Yeah, exactly. So looking forward to looking forward to all our adventures because there's lots of things we're doing together that we'll be announcing in the coming months. And so thank you.
Thank you.
For everything.
Thank you for
So-
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for Oh, and what booth are you at?
Oh my
Your number? Do you not know?
Over there.
Oh, sorry, I didn't
That
need to.
one. But
they're both going to go over there.
Yeah.
literally, I know this
Yes.
place by the map in my head and forget the numbers. But like,
You're
Yeah.
under the 2500 sign. How about that?
Yeah, we're
and
next
make sure
to
you
the
go
van.
stop by the College of Biomedical Equipment Technologies booth as well, aka
Which is
CBET.
nearly under the 2,500
That's
side, right? They're right down from there.
Yeah.
All right, we love you guys. Get out.
Thank you, guys.
That's how this works.
I gave you your
Appreciate it.
receipt back. I'm done.
Yes.
Thank you. And because we have to go back out to our friend Chace, who
Chace
you
here at
guys know
Start-Up
as well.
Pavilion.
Are we just working Chace? Like, what? He's all over this place. Yeah,
Back on the
exactly.
AAMI
We have him
floor.
tripped. All right.
It's where I love to be at. And here we are. Now, this is something really cool that AAMI's never done before. They're allowing a lot of new prop-up businesses so you can learn about them right away. And we're just going to do a full round circle and learn about all these different companies that you should be aware of. First, with Relief, HTM, Cy Velick, appreciate you having me. I would love to, tell everybody about what you guys do and who you are.
Yeah. Hey, I am Asai Wilik. I am a president CEO from Relief HTM. We specialize saving money for the hospital on capital equipment purchases. That's it, what we do now.
So what areas do you cover?
We cover, now we in California. I think it's everywhere.
So If anybody needs any kind of services, they can just reach out to you, and you cover everything. So equipment planning, I see that you have large capital equipment purchases. So you're doing a lot of asset management as well, which is a very important thing. It's everything from a biomed all the way up to C-suite can appreciate. We got to maintain our devices, right? So I'm excited for your guys' launch and wish you guys all the success. And if anybody wants to reach out to Relief and enlist your services, where can they go?
They can come to www.reliefhtm.com and my LinkedIn, Lungwat Vilik. Yep. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for joining us, and good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Basically, like in your mouth.
All right, we're going to move on to the next one here. And I am joined by some really good friends with an exciting venture, IHTM. And let's let people know if they haven't heard about it already, because you're good at marketing this anyway. But please, Jill, let us know what IHTM is and what you do.
Okay, my name is JC Newell, and I'm a co-founder of IHTM, and this is my wonderful twin sister, Amy Duffy, and she's with IHTM. IHTM is a social media platform geared towards all things healthcare technology management and IT. We want to be a community where we collaborate, bring our areas together, and find better ways to create more compliance, regulatory, and safety for our patients. We offer on our site training and education, career services support. We offer community and family, but we also offer project management tools and what we call the Well. Well is our part of our site for spiritual wellness, and we want to be there to support. We have a BYOB Zoom call every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Bring your favorite beverage, come and hang out with us. We don't record anything. We want everybody to bring their authentic selves, and let's get there and collaborate. Bring us your problems, what's worried you for the week, and let us help you find solutions. We also offer mentorship. Well, we have training and education courses on the site as well. Amy, is there anything you want to add?
I think you have covered everything that we do. I will tell you that being on the BYOB, it's an exciting experience. It's a way to build a community. It's a way also to build your foundation. Especially starting out in this industry, I think you will absolutely benefit from all of the people that can pour into you on this Zoom call. And also on our site as well, there's a lot of information, a lot of ways to grow, and a lot of ways to chat with people in your industry to gain, to build your own community and gain insight and influence.
So what is that website?
The website is i-htm.mn.co. And you can also find us on LinkedIn. Just look up I-HTM, we're there. And before we go, I want to mention we offer a Next Gen HTM Summit 2025. This will be our second summit of the year. Please sign up in July. We'll be opening up for speakers. We always talk about AI, cybersecurity, biomed, career development, and spiritual wellness. And we want you to come and share with us. We do vendor sponsorships. We'll share your commercial during the summit. It's a 2-day virtual summit. We look forward to hearing from you guys.
All right, we wish you all the success and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, we got to go over here to the next booth, MedServ Marketplace, joined by Donna and Viraj. So what is MedServ Marketplace? Tell me about it.
Yeah, sure. I'll start and then I'll give it to Donna. Hi, I'm Viraj Shah. I'm the founder and CEO of MedServ Marketplace. MedServ was founded in 2023. We are a two-sided marketplace where we connect qualified, certified, trained, and vetted biomedical equipment technicians with the independent service organizations, the original equipment manufacturers, and the hospitals. We are doing the full service event on our platform, so we are a principal in the transaction. The technicians are doing the full event, and we are doing the entire thing through our AI-powered technology platform. MedServ is already live in about 17 states and 23 cities. We are revenue positive, and we are growing very quickly. I'll give it now to our Chief Services Officer, Donna Dyer.
So at MedServ Marketplace, as a technician, you can sign up to do gig work. So what that means is you would fill out a quick application on our website, on our platform, and we would put you through an onboarding process, and then you get matched with jobs that you're qualified to do. We have jobs, as Viraj was saying, for manufacturers or service organizations, and you get to grow your skills and try something new. So we're looking for qualified and certified biomedical electricians and BMETs and field engineers to come work with us. So we hope you'll join us.
Sign up today. So what's the website they need to go to?
It's medservmarketplace.com.
Appreciate you joining us, and good luck, and keep growing.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go to the other side. All right, here we go. So here we are, Med Grocery LLC.
Hi.
So would love to hear about what you guys do, who you are, and tell us about it.
Sure. Hi, my name is Smiral Shah, and I'm the co-founder of Med Grocery. To tell you more about Med Grocery, the name itself, Grocery for Medical Accessories. Now, we are an online platform for medical accessories, but not just for parts like cables and sensors, but also high-use parts like bed casters, medical batteries like stretchers, and etc. We offer a wide range of items at a significantly lower price compared to the manufacturers. We all do this with advanced level tech, but simultaneously adding personal touch and attention to each customer. Not to forget, we are a minority women-owned business. We are currently in 27 states in US and also expanding in Canada and Mexico. So the next time you think of defibrillator, ECG cable, or a custom mattress for a patient bed, please think of Med Grocery. We look forward to growing with you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you joining us, and good luck. All right, we got another one. All right. I'm actually familiar with these fellas a little bit.
How are you?
So I know a little bit about what you guys do.
You do?
But we need to let
Tell us.
we need to let everybody else know.
All right.
So
Good.
got David, and we got Danny. So Downtime Trace, excited to have you here. Would love to hear and let you guys, let everybody know what you guys do and why it's important that you guys are doing it.
Yeah, so we're trying to really innovate compared to what the industry's done. We've done it a certain way for a long time. At the end of the day, we want to connect customers with service options and use technology like people are used to. So when you think about Uber and all these apps that you're familiar with that people like the most, we tried to emulate that, ride coattails of what they've done, like society buys a certain way. So we just want the user interface in our world to be something that they're used to, something that they enjoy, something that's not tedious. And we did a lot of what do you call them, panels. We did panels and things like that as we were getting going, so we asked a lot of people what their opinion was. And we got some really good feedback on CMMS interaction and what it takes to dispatch people out. And we just really honed in on what they were saying. So if we do this right, we'll make people's lives easier, we'll make the user interface better, and we'll actually help save money maybe, do stuff like that, yeah.
So how does somebody sign up for Downtime Trace?
Yeah, so that's the greatest part, right? So as a customer, it's easy. All you got to do is tell us you're interested, and we'll come out and get your inventory. We'll determine your service level agreements that you have today, and we'll put it into our system. As a service provider, you just come on board, you give us all your people that you have in your system, and we'll get your skill sets, we'll validate all that, we'll get you signed up, and it's actually free. If you're a service provider, it's free to become part of our system. And we're bringing what we believe is opportunities and options and more information to our customers so they can make better choices in the future. We're not here to tell them what they should do. We're here to help them get information around what they could do and make the best choices for them. So it's really a great opportunity.
All right.
We appreciate the opportunity you guys come and talk and let us tell you about it.
Yeah, it's exciting to have this set up in AAMI for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And you're a part of it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So,
We're
all right.
happy to do it again.
Yeah. Hey, wish y'all all the success.
Thank you.
And we'll catch you next time. All right, we are at the final booth, Ascendo AI, and joined by Ramki and Kay. So I would love to hear about what you guys do. Obviously, it's AI, but what are you using it for? What's it to benefit?
So Ascendo is generally a product behind your back pockets. So we have around 16 AI agents and 1,800 workflows fully automated using AI. That's what we do. And for BMETs, field service technicians, for the remote techs, for the logistics people, the service supply chain folks, all of them, utilizing AI agents is what we do.
So how do you see this long-term impacting? How do you see the long-term impact of what you guys are putting out?
It is already huge. In fact, we work very closely. We are in Palo Alto, California. So as such, we have a lot of technology behind us. We also work with a lot of medical OEM providers, ISOs, and different companies. This is in the US. We are finding it very difficult to find talents, train them, and make them, and we need the assets to be long-living. All these problems we are able to fill up with AI agents. And that is the beauty of what a lot of our customers are seeing.
So if anybody needed to find you to enlist your services, where could they go?
Oh, Ascendo.ai. They could go to the website. They could find me or Ramki on LinkedIn. We also have a large presence. And we are actually the best agentic platform for 2025, and we have been G2 reviews. We are in all the marketplaces in SAP, Salesforce, ServiceNow, and all of the marketplaces. So there are many places where people can find us. I personally can be reached at kn@ascendo.ai, so that's my email address. And like Ramki said, somebody was talking to me the other day and said for a month they have around 3,000 open requisitions, and they are able to only fill in 300. Plus, a lot of the knowledgeable and experienced people are retiring. And what we do is we predominantly help fill in that gap, that knowledge gap. That's what we do. So, yeah, thank you very much for interviewing us.
So I appreciate being able to speak to you. Obviously, Amy appreciates you being a part of the first ever Startup Row. This is exciting. I assume everybody here wants to thank Amy because this is pretty cool. It's given you guys an opportunity to step out and say, we're here and we're ready to do something. So I'm going to kick it back to Danielle and Robert. Appreciate. I'll catch you at the next interview.
I tell you what, you're doing a great job, man. Keep it up. Fantastic. And yeah, I love the Startup Pavilion, whatever we're calling it.
Yes, it is. I'm so proud of it. I think it's such a great way to show off these newer companies that may not be able to afford a booth or be here, but they're just as important. Like the startups are some of the most cutting edge technology and new ideas, and we need to show them off. So I'm really glad that we could get them here to do this. So thank you to everyone that participated.
We had 6 this year.
6,
and we're already deciding we're going to do more next year.
Expand it next year,
so
yeah.
If you've got
now I need to know. Now I know where I'm going to go next.
Hey, there you go. And hey, look, someone's in the booth with us.
Yes.
Sorry, I just stole it from you.
Oh, and it's not a startup.
It's not.
It's not a startup.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
You're with a company called Fluke. Is that
Fluke
new?
Biomedical.
Fluke Biomedical. That is correct. Yes, it
so
is.
Tell us, first of all, introduce yourself.
Yes.
My name is Justin Ross. I'm with Fluke Biomedical. I'm one of our senior product specialists, and we're having a great time.
And how long have you guys been around, really? I'm just joking. I don't want any misinformation out there.
A long time. A long time because, we brought in the Dale technology and the DNI Nevada, so it's really cool because we brought in all this great technology. Now we continue to expand it with the RaySafe team, and we got some great innovation going on now.
Fantastic.
Yes, and how long have you been in the field, Justin? You've been in here a lot.
I've been in the field since 2002. Now, the story about how I got into the field, that's over a cold beer.
Yeah.
Because I got the story that, you don't believe. Everybody gets drunk and ends up in Vegas. I got drunk and ended up in Penn State.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
That's how I got into the biomedical.
So it's now a job requirement. I go have a beer with this man. I want to note that.
To be enrolled in Penn State in the morning.
There you go.
Correct.
It's a beautiful part of the country, though. I love Western Pennsylvania.
It is beautiful.
Beautiful. Not
Great
far
school.
from my home. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
there you go.
Yep.
There you go. All right. So
you have a brand new device, that Fluke Biomedical, a new electrical safety analyzer.
It is an electrical safety analyzer, but that's only a portion of what we're talking about here.
See, I teed it up.
I loved it, man. I'll take it and we'll just smack it right down.
All right, now I got to make sure I'm out of the way. I want people to be able to see this on camera.
Okay, so we can see it on camera here.
Yeah.
So, yes, it is an electrical safety analyzer by nature, and we have all the functionality in the safety analyzer. Oh, by the way, do you notice we're not plugged in?
I do notice that.
Yes.
Yeah, because we have like a 2-hour battery in here. And this is really handy because now when we're walking down the hallway, we don't have to wait for it to boot up and go select the standard you need. And it's already up and running for you. And then when you plug it in, people are going to say, well, 2 hours is enough. So when you plug it in, it's going to be charging itself as you're doing electrical safety tests. So you can run your day all day long. But you're right. So all the things you're used to in electrical safety analyzers all right here. It's going to be mad at me right now because there's no power. But when you select the test, it has visual guidance, and it'll light up the LEDs showing which ports you're supposed to connect to.
Oh, wow. On the top
That's your
there,
5 lead, right?
So in this case, I have a built-in 5-lead ECG simulator and respirations.
See, now I could have said it's a 5-lead because there's 5 lights on.
There's 5 lights up.
Don't take the gimmies. I want the gimmies. So,
but we can do all 10 leads at once. We can move the ports around. So everything that you're used to with the basic electrical safety analyzer in it, with the 10 applied parts. But then when you get out of this side and you go to the other side, now we can do something like this and take a barcode scanner and say, hey, I found this bed in the hallway that, and maybe I don't know how to PM beds. Maybe it's been a while since I did a bed. All you can do is take a barcode scanner, once wakes it up, scan a barcode, and my procedure pulls right up for me.
Interesting. So it's a step-by-step guide through the testing process.
How to do the entire PM right out of your CMMS system, pulls in your work order number, your asset ID, and not only does it do that, but as you're going through, we can embed pictures. So maybe you don't remember how to do each and every step. Here's one. Let me hit pass here once or twice. And we'll have a picture of how to test out the rails. Built right in.
And he has a simulator there if he needs to run any other kind of diagnostic test.
Oh, okay, to simulate the outputs. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Doing this upside down is more of a challenge than I remember doing.
You're doing
there
great.
You go.
There we go. So there we have a picture of how to test the side rails.
Interesting. So
or maybe it's where to put the weights at, or you have to change out a Nafion tube, or you have to, whatever it is. Because face it, it's hard getting technicians anymore.
Right.
There's not a lot of us anymore. So you have to bring in a new person, you can build a program, you can embed these things, and then they're often just following the instructions on the device.
So say again where the content's coming. Does this come pre-configured with content? Is a user
really great
loading
question.
their own content? How does that work?
So we can help you build the content.
Okay.
So it's a program called 1QA, and we've had it out for a while, so I'm going to say this quietly because my boss is out there, but has anybody ever heard the term med tester? Our med tester never really died. It just went, she's raising her hand. So the med tester never really died. It just went to live on the cloud.
Okay.
So we've been accessing that by going through our PCs. So all of our legacy devices are still accessed through it. Now what we did is we brought that 1QA program right into the device. So we can go on to 1QA, build the procedures, standardize the procedures. So maybe you have 15 hospitals. Wouldn't it be nice to know that every tech's doing the same job the same way every time? So we build the procedure once. As soon as it's saved, everybody's following the same exact procedure. And what's really awesome about this is as we're doing the work here, we can save 10,000 results here and then use a secure Wi-Fi adapter, link through the Wi-Fi system, and put those work orders right back into your CMMS.
Which is from a workflow perspective is amazing for the technician.
Amazing.
Because it's already done on there. You don't have to go back, sit down at your computer and document everything.
That's correct.
And do you integrate with every CMMS out there? Or?
We have an open API, so we can
amazing.
integrate with any one of them. We use a common JSON language, so not only can we bring back the information as a PDF, but we can bring back that raw data and put it into your work order. So you can start doing mean deviations over time, or researching and moving to true responsive repairs. Versus just guessing what needs to be done.
So what kind of data is being collected? Is it just data off the sensors? Is there also user input? What kind of a...
That's a great question. So yes, you can enter user input into it. So in this case, we're going to be doing a scale. So when we do our scale measurements, you'd have to type in the weights.
Okay, perfect.
But you don't need an external keyboard. You don't need your cell phone. You don't need a tablet. You definitely don't want the paper. Like, we just got done with COVID. And you know how many technicians are still carrying around paper that absorbs PB&J? And then you're going to take that PB&J back to your desk and you're going to type in your results as you're eating your sandwich. Come
Your
on,
actual
man. That's
PB&J.
gross. Yeah. We don't want to cross-contaminate PB&Js, man. That's No. So now all the data is put in one time. Reduce your workload. Let it standardize for it. Because, listen, there's important things we got to do as biomeds. Drink coffee and tear things apart. And we don't get to do that anymore.
My two favorite things.
We're too busy doing our safety inspections, back to drinking coffee and tearing things apart.
Or charging your electrical safety analyzer.
It's doing it for you on the run.
So
It's that easy.
how long has this product been in the market? Is this a new product? Has
We
it been
launched
out
out the 710 at MD Expo, so just a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And then today, we just launched out the newer version, the 712 and the 715.
Okay.
And here's the difference. This 710 is a US-only product. It comes with AAMI, ANSI, NFPA 99 as a standard. The 712 and 715 integrate IEC 60601-1, second and third revision, as well as IEC 62353.
Okay.
So for the OEMs and the ISOs, we now have the standards that they can do their testing same way on the fly.
Wow.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, and we love hearing that you're referencing our standards.
How about it,
We're
yo?
trying to get more HTM professionals involved in standards, and this is really important why they should be involved because they're used in our everyday jobs.
They are.
And people don't realize that they can contribute to that in the development of those standards or publicly comment on those standards.
And that's important to do because technology has been changing so quick.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of standards.
Yes.
Yeah, you gave me a gift card here.
I gave you a gift card here.
How much is on this?
One free NFPA 99 standards card. So swing by the Fluke booth. We're over there, like 250. You started putting the pressure about booth numbers. On the last
everybody's
guy.
flipping out about
2537.
There you go.
2537. Hey, look, I got an applause out there. So 2537.
The crowd goes wild.
Swing by the Fluke booth.
Yellow and black.
And
Look
we
for
are
yellow
going
and
to give
black.
you a free card for NFPA 99 standards. Great reference. We got a class tomorrow morning where we're going to be going over the safety analyzers and motor
Yes.
standards. We'd love to have people in attendance. Swing by the booth. There might be a magic code to get into the class.
Yes, you guys are handing out vouchers, 25 of them, to people to come free to your class tomorrow.
Free to the
So
class
wait,
tomorrow.
let me
Yes, thank
make
you
sure
guys
I
for
understand this.
sponsoring that.
I could go to this class tomorrow by paying to go to this class.
Yes.
But if I were smart,
come visit us.
I would go to the Fluke booth, and then I can get a voucher to get into
go
that
in for
class.
free.
See, look
Say-
at that.
learn all
say
about
something about
this.
like how I want to talk about an ESA 700.
Say, I heard about it on the
And we saw
AAMI
Justin
Exchange
live on
stream.
air.
On air.
So I'm going to derail this for a second. So
How
since
about it?
Robert made fun of me when I said there's the 5 lead and it's 5 buttons,
Uh-oh,
if
here we
we
go.
plugged in all 10 of those, what lead EKG, how many lead EKG is that, Robert?
11.
Eh.
Nine.
He knew it wasn't. He knew.
Yeah.
9.
It's a 12 lead EKG.
No, I knew it was a 12 lead because you've
No, you didn't. You
talked
didn't
about
say it.
you've talked about 12 leads, and I don't know what the 12 leads are, but you've talked
Well, it's
about
the way
that,
they
and I
all-
actually wondered when you said 10, why aren't there 12?
Because there's, because of Eindhoven's triangle, right? Because
There you
it's
go.
the way they all connect.
There you go.
You impressed?
See?
I pulled that out.
I'm telling
I
you what,
got
dude.
to see
She's
that.
the real deal. She's not just some executive wandering around here. This woman's been in the field getting it done. Card carrying
I just wanted to
biomed.
show off my knowledge.
That was
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm gonna have to like go study up here because she's about to bust out some real stuff on me here.
Exactly. Well, anything else you want to share with us about the product or about what you guys are doing at Fluke Biomedical?
Oh, there's been so much great stuff going on at Fluke Biomedical. You know, we brought this out this year. 2 years ago, we brought out our infusion pump analyzer. Like, we're measuring to 1/25th of a single droplet of water.
Wow.
1 microliter.
I know it's a wicked cool analyzer. If people have not used it or seen it, then you got to go check it out at your
Yeah,
booth.
we
I
got
love that
this-
analyzer.
We got this little syringe that has 1 droplet of water in there, and watching it go through the system is crazy accurate.
So how about this? Maybe when we do our quarterly show, you come bring that and you demo that for us.
Oh, I'd love to come
Would
do
that be really
That'd
cool?
be great.
We'd have a
All
good
right.
time.
Get
You
rid
know
of
what
the
I want to
beakers
do
and
now,
Erlenmeyer
though?
flasks.
I want to play with that thing. Do we have somebody out in the field we're going to talk to out on the expo floor?
Yes,
Are we going
they're
out?
going to FSI.
They're going to FSI now? All right.
Yes.
Heck yeah, you can
I play with your tool? All right. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for being
Justin.
here.
Thank you for being
Everyone
here.
go
Thank you
by
to
the
Fluke Biomedical.
Biomedical booth.
For sponsoring the
And I'm going to...
technical training.
Oh, we're going to Bryant.
Oh.
Oh, fantastic. All right. Brian, take it away while I work on my 12 lead knowledge.
Hey, this is Brian Hawkins, and we're at our next booth spotlight. I'm here with FSI, and I'm with a gentleman that needs no introduction, but let's let him do it anyway.
Hi, I'm Joe Stockman with FSI. I've been with FSI 22 years, so 22 of the 23 years, and we've been primarily healthcare focused the entire time, starting as an asset inventory company, walking around hospitals, collecting all the different equipment, both on the facilities and biomed side. And I'm currently the Director of Product Experience. So what I do is I talk to customers about what their needs are and try to solve their problems with technology. So.
Great. So what does FSI have going on that we can share with the HTM industry?
Yeah, one of the things we're doing, tomorrow I'm actually presenting on AEM. So it's the ABCs of AEM for HTM is the name of the session. And what we'll be doing is talking about sort of the basics of setting up an AEM program. What we like to do is showcase our customers. I'm doing it with a customer of ours, Bruce Lund from Baptist Health. We'll be presenting on the AEM program that they built using our software to justify all the different means of their policies. So.
Right. Now, you mentioned software. Yeah. Does FSI have any type of AI incorporation going on?
Yeah, currently what we're doing with AI is we're taking it into our data analytics piece. So we're our analytics is sort of siloed, so customers' data, there's no chance of cross-contamination with the data. And we're being able to get insights into the data, like show me how many failed defibrillator work orders there are, how many items have a particular recall on them or something like that within the analytics portion, and you're able to pull that information up quickly instead of having to search for it and try to find it. It really helps out with that large language model going into the analytics piece.
So FSI, where's FSI located, or nationwide, or where you guys at? How you work? How you expanding?
FSI is all over. We actually started in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I started there when I lived in Pittsburgh, and I was able to relocate 3 times working for FSI. So we've been 100% remote for 23 years. We have that lets us recruit people from all over the country. So there's everyone you see here.
So I'm an AAMI attendee. I come up to FSI booth. What can I expect?
What we try to do is make your lives easier. So with our software, we make your technicians' lives easier. We make compliance reporting easier. We try to keep it simple. That's what we've always tried to do. Systems get complicated. We try to keep it simple so anybody can log in and use it. We say we could train technicians in 15 minutes on how to use our mobile software. So we really try to, like I said, keep it. The user experience is our #1 goal with our CMMSs. There's a lot of CMMSs out there. We like to think ours is the easiest to use.
Joe, thank you for your time. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the AAMI conference. I'll talk to you next time.
I appreciate it.
Back to you, Danielle.
All right, thanks, Bryant. And thanks to FSI, who's a sponsor here as well.
Absolutely.
So
it's good to see Brian again.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I'm glad he's back. So Bryant works for TRIMEDX too.
We're happy to see Bryant.
Yes.
Look, there's new people in our
Here
booth.
we go. There's more people that came to visit us right now. So I guess that's a great segue. We have another sponsor here, TRIMEDX. And we do a lot of work with you all. So do you want to introduce yourselves before we get started?
Sure, Rob. Do you want to start? Okay. My name's Courtney Kinkade. Danielle and I have known each other for quite some time, but I'm our Vice President of Organizational Learning and Workforce Strategy. I have the privilege of being the fun side of HR is what I like to liken it to or equate it to. We get to build sustainable future for TRIMEDX and continue to innovate in a really unique way.
Fantastic.
I'm Rob Moorey. I'm the president.
All right, wait, Rob, aim that right at you.
Yeah, we can barely hear you.
Very directional.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm Rob Moorey. I'm the president for the Clinical Engineering Services. So very glad to be here. Been an AAMI member for a very long time.
Good to see you
Big
again.
supporter.
Yes.
Yeah. Good
There's that radio voice. Good
there
job,
we go.
Rob.
And Rob and I have known each other for a long time as well. So
we have, yeah.
Tell me about TRIMEDX. That was awful.
So you say you're the president of clinical engineering. Do you want to explain what that encompasses at TRIMEDX? So for people that are listening that they may not really understand how TRIMEDX is broken out. I know you have a lot of service lines and verticals.
Sure. I've been with TRIMEDX now about 12 years. And in that 12 years, we've been very fortunate to see a lot of growth. We started historically out of a biomed shop at 86th Street in St. Vincent's in Indianapolis. Somebody had some foresight. They had a plan and a vision, and here we are 20 plus years later. We're fortunate enough to have more than one service line, so we focus around clinical engineering, cybersecurity, and clinical asset management. So there's 2 other peers, presidents in the group, and I'm responsible for what is our traditional program. I'm responsible for all the biomedical imaging and lab service in a hospital.
Fantastic.
Perfect. And Courtney, you want to kind of talk, well, you kind of talked about what you did, but I think one of the things that I've loved about TRIMEDX since, we've kind of like made this relationship between AAMI and TRIMEDX is your passion for developing a strong pipeline and really setting the bar forward for the next generation. And I think that was very apparent in the sense that TRIMEDX sponsored the High School Discovery Day yesterday. We're so appreciative that you guys did that. For people who weren't there, Rob kicked it off with a beautiful keynote talking about how he found the field. And it was just really endearing. And I think it really resonated with the students really, really well. But let's talk about your internal development plans. You have a lot of different educational and growth opportunities within TRIMEDX, and one of them being AAMI's BMET apprenticeship that you guys partnered with us on.
Yep.
And so, Courtney, you want to talk a little bit about it and why you decided to partner? Well, why not you personally, but why TRIMEDX decided to partner with AAMI to really go on this journey together?
Yeah, I'd love to. And as I look at the clock, I could probably easily fill 7 minutes in just this talk.
we
so I'll try
ignore
not
that
to.
completely.
So
That's
Robert
a
and I have gone over with
suggestion.
every guest today, so it's okay. It's roughly 7 minutes.
I love it. Well, the beauty of our industry is so many people, once they're in the industry, they're so passionate about it. And, like any good thing, we want to share it, right, when we find it. So it's a gem. Much of, I think, our leadership team, as well as most of our biomed staff, just have such a passion and an energy, pardon me. So when you started the conversation about potential apprenticeship programs or cohort programs or what that could look like, I think we were pretty quick in the discussion around what that would look like at TRIMEDX, right? And then as soon as the adoption model was shared, we thought, no brainer. And then we quickly had conversation about investment. Rob had no issue, right?
No
issue.
Jumped all over it.
Absolutely. And then, of course, like every program, education is wildly important, but in order for it to be successful in the TRIMEDX infrastructure, we really focus on capability and advancement enhancement. And mentorship and community building. So that's been other elements or spokes in the wheel that we've kind of added our own specific flavor to in the program.
And when you talk about investment, I feel like there's a big misconception about the apprenticeship because people think it's really expensive. So I just kind of want to talk through that piece a little bit because I hope that others will want to join. We have a lot of other big, some of your competitors are also members of it and some smaller independent service organizations and standalone hospitals. But I have over 3,000 people who want to do the program that have signed up and not enough employer partners to place them all at. And, we often hear that there's no pipeline. Well, AAMI has a pipeline of people. Right. We just need to invest in this program. So, maybe we can kind of talk through how it works a little bit together, but there's no cost to partner with AAMI. And the really only costs are the cost of the salary of the apprentice, which you all set. And typically that's below an entry BMAT 1 because they're not a BMAT 1 yet, right? It's and then there's related instruction that we set up, which includes 3 certifications. So they're getting industry recognized credentials. So they start year 1 with their CAB-T. They get their IT fundamentals certification, which they rebranded to call something new.
ITF Plus.
ITF Plus. And then they they have to take and attempt the CBET. Yeah. Now, if they don't pass, we still let them go forward because we don't want to. Yes. But for people who are saying, well, that's too much for an apprentice, I just want to say, we want them to try. And we've had over a 90% pass rate of our apprentices, which is way higher than the general population. So it shows that we're setting these people up. So that related instruction is about $1,500 a year or under $3,000 total for the 2 years. So, and you don't have to pay benefits. You can choose to hire them as temps. So it's not really as big of an expense as people think. So do you kind of want to speak to it about how it's set up?
Sure, and I think the cost too of all of the related instruction in order to equip them or propel them into the future. You've already talked to Monty, right? I was watching him on the big screen. He is a fantastic partner of ours.
Yes, ours too.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of his instruction is foundational in equipping many who are wanting to join the industry. Our program also, though, I wanted to make sure I highlighted, it doesn't necessarily appeal only to those just starting their career. We're also incredibly passionate about pulling other people into the industry, and this is a fantastic program, right? You've built a fantastic program to do that. And all of the industry partners are just absolutely wonderful about packaging sensical training, affordable sensical training.
Yes, even Fluke Biomedical that was just in the booth, they do all of their training online for free. They can get their first 30 hours for free, and that takes the whole first year. But let's talk a little bit more about your other programs internally, because I was at the New England TRIMEDX Techs Expo and I got to sit in on the education part and how you guys set people up for certification. So you have your pathways from durable medical technician to BMAT. You want to talk a little bit about all those other internal pathways for people who apprenticeship may not be for them?
Yeah, we're very proud of the work we've done. It's taken us a number of years to really identify those verticals, those ladders. And we know that creating places for people to enter the industry and allow them to mature is the best way for us to develop our talent. So as I mentioned, we have a couple of vertical lines. In our clinical asset management, we have a number of associates that work in our medical equipment, mobile medical equipment program. Those individuals create an interesting pipeline for us too, because they are familiar with the devices, they're in the healthcare setting, they understand healthcare, and many of them are looking for career paths. So there's an opportunity for us to take those individuals, provide them with a career path, and create a pipeline for us. We have also the Tech Plus One program, which we've actually done for...
That's been around a long... Even when I was in school, you guys were recruiting people for that.
I think it's almost 15 years.
Yeah.
And one of the things that TRIMEDX has always done very well is we always look at adjacencies. I remember, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, we had a number of folks in the Detroit market due to the auto industry and some of the challenges they were going through. A lot of good talent came onto the market. We saw that as an opportunity.
Absolutely.
Let's take them, bring them in, put them on a development path. So we're looking for those opportunities where one industry might be reducing in size. There is good tenured individuals, very technically competent. We can give them a little education and training on what it means to be an HTM, and then we've had many of those associates still with us today.
Yep. I think the career changers are some of the best. You know, I think over the years, I remember I hired an AV person once that did AV at churches, but they were so good with customer service and tinkering that, you know, they really make good technicians. And I think having these, you know, not everyone is able to go to school, right? Right. And maybe at any part of their life, you know, depending upon where they come from and economic opportunities, that may just not be, and especially if you're like mid-career and you have a family, you know, it just may not be an option for you. So now these programs give you options to come into a very viable field that you can have a long, lucrative, and rewarding career.
I'm so glad you said that, because a pillar of our program construction is related to allowing opportunity in a diverse way. And a large part of that, of course, is how do we deploy a training that all can take advantage of?
Yes.
So we partnered in kind of consulting in the Imaging Academy that Monty mentioned earlier. And the deployment model for that was, you know, we had industry partners, we had fantastic partners, but the catch was they had to travel to train. And many are just in unique situations, and we just can't do, you know, we can't commit the weeks to that. So this program is beautiful to appeal to anyone and everyone, right? We're removing barriers, we're enabling opportunity. It's just wonderful.
And even for your own accounts, you know, sending people away for 2 weeks at a time can be detrimental. If you have a 1 or 2 person account, that's 50% of your workforce that you're sending away.
Right, but we don't want to limit, right?
Yeah, and you don't want to. Yeah, you want to say you can't go to training because you happen to be at this account. So I mean, it's just so amazing, and how innovative you guys are. You know, I really love all your programs, and I love you guys also set folks up for certification.
We do.
Want to mention a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we also launched it within the last year, our TRIMEDX Trained Certificate Program, which we partnered with you in the construction, but that's also appealing to those entering the industry, and it's like the gold standard I like to equate it to. You know, if you're joining the industry, we're telling you what success looks like. We bored him. He left.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, I hope so. I don't know. We're showing them what success looks like, and then if they follow that model, it's fantastic. And part of that, of course, is the CABT certificate program. And then we also offer a training program, as you know, through TRIMEDX to prepare all of our associates who are willing and able and interested and qualified to sit and pass the CBET. One thing, I know we're over on time, but I wanted to make sure we mentioned the other side of our industry, right? Those who are incredibly skilled and just have significant amount of knowledge. We've just launched our TRIMEDX Elite Technician program. So
very excited about
Sue,
that.
Explain a little bit. I'd love to hear about that. We have a couple minutes if you'd like to explain it.
So in all of my time in HTM, if you go to any shop, there's always a guy. That guy who's constantly mentoring the other guys.
Yes.
Showing them how to do things. They get more satisfaction out of helping other people be successful than just doing the work and being successful on their own.
Yep.
We know that those people are the backbones of our organization.
Yes.
That if they leave, we're going to be considerably weaker as an organization. And so we want to recognize individuals. So we've created this elite technician program to identify those folks. We're going to make sure that they get the recognition they rightly deserve, right?
Have earned.
Right? And then we're going to try and leverage the fact that they're natural coaches and mentors and try to facilitate that.
Yep. You know, and that warms my heart because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those people. You know, when I was an intern at UConn and I just came in green, all the people that took me under their wing to train me, like I am forever grateful for all of them when I see them again because they took the time to invest in me and taught me. So those people are so important, and I think their impact is beyond measure because, like, to me, I'm probably just another intern that went through, but you know, to them, I'm just another intern. But to me, like, I'm indebted to them, and I'm just so grateful.
There's one word that's motivated me more than anything else in my career, and that's the word legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Every day I get out of bed, I ask myself, how am I building my legacy? And these individuals build their legacy through other people. When they're gone, the effects of what they do in HTM will long outlast them.
Well said. Well said.
Well, what a great way to end this.
Absolutely.
I mean,
You guys just ripped.
I know.
You just
didn't get a
ripped.
word
I know,
in.
and we forgot you were here.
No, you know what
Until
though?
your absence was felt.
Yeah, we all
No,
got really
see, that
worried.
was TV magic. No one knows I left.
No,
We did
but now
we all
they do.
paused.
You did?
Show
You all
didn't go
paused?
on.
No, it
yeah,
didn't.
that was
My
a bad
allergies
TV show.
kicked in. I'm sorry. All this is just allergies. Just finally. I don't
I like
know if it wore
concerningly
off
said, "Is he okay?"
But no,
Yeah.
I'm fine now. And I love this because obviously I come from outside the field and have been at AAMI about 6.5 years. But the passion that you all have about this, when I can just sit and watch that passion flowing back and forth, and we had meetings this morning about other things. It's just nonstop. It's unbelievable. And really, AAMI's role is to be a facilitator and a supporter. And I view my role. You talk about your legacy. My role is to be a facilitator and a supporter of all the things you all want to do. So it's really kind of fun to just sit here and
Yes, it
listen.
is.
That was my favorite segment so far.
Really? Well, when you talk about
I didn't say a
legacy
word.
too, I mean, I just want to say with him, like, I never saw myself ever doing this, and like he made me do it,
You're a
and now
star.
he pushed me to do it. So it's kind of like you brought out a side of me that I never thought I
And
could
there was
do
talk
too.
of getting rid of me today, and now I just had an entire segment. I said nothing, and now I see that's
The writing on the
path.
wall.
Okay, very good.
But we didn't do a good job because normally the
Yeah.
show must go on, and we all just like
Yeah.
deer in headlights.
There you go.
So we need to
All
practice
right.
that
We
for
get
next
you
time.
do. If I just run out of the booth at any time, just keep going. So, but no.
You know that topic that you're talking about, somebody pushing you to do something.
Yes.
Neil and I, our new CEO, were talking earlier today, and I said to him then, I said, it's interesting. There's always one person who pushes you to do something before you know you can do it.
Agreed.
Before you do it, you don't know. You think you may be able to. You may fear that you can't do it, but you don't know until you've at least done it once.
Right.
And so to your point, having Rob push you, exposed that you do have a skill set you may have never known about.
Well, obviously he wouldn't have asked me to do it if he thought I was going to be a train wreck. So I mean, I feel like he saw something in me that I didn't see in
true.
myself. So I'm really happy that you did that. So thank you.
Everyone loves being with you, communicating with you, sharing with you. And like I said, just seeing the passion flow around these topics, that it didn't take a lot of insight to figure out this is perfect. So I'm glad you went on this little adventure. Very good at it.
We had a
And I'm
blast.
delighted to be working
we're
with
glad
you
you're
all.
here as
and
our guest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Thank you for the
guys have been
invite.
such a great long-term partner to AAMI.
And likewise.
everything we do here,
likewise.
everything we do out in the field. And we had a great conversation this
did.
morning about doing more things together. And I
Well,
think
now I'm
that's
having
going to yield a
FOMO.
lot of fruit.
What's
Well,
that?
I have FOMO of missing the conversation.
Oh, we'll catch you up. Don't worry.
catch up.
Don't worry. We'll catch you up. So, anything else you want to cover?
No, I think we're good. I think we're way over time.
Are
so
we?
we
Well, that's
probably-
Hold on.
okay.
Thank you very
Number,
much.
you can't miss us, but booth 2801.
yes.
Oh, that's
Yes.
right. We've been
Yep.
asking booth
I
numbers
know.
of
I heard you
everyone.
out
It's like
there.
a quiz. Yeah.
Also, go Pacers.
Oh. Oh, there
Just
we
saying.
go. All right.
Well, thank
Thank
you
you.
guys for joining us.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. Be well. Are we done?
I think that's it. They're our
We're
last
not going
guests
back
of the
to
day.
anything?
I don't think there's anyone else to talk to
All right,
right
well,
now.
I'm
We've
going to go
talked
take
to
an
everyone
allergy
that
pill.
we
then.
can.
I'm going to go take an allergy pill. Great job, Danielle.
Great job to you too.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys. That was